carry home. See the marvel, experience its wonder.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me do the introduction. This is geology.
Ugh, I hate geography.
Not geography, geology.
Ugh, even worse.
What do you mean? Do you even know what geology is?
Yes, I know. It's looking at rocks and boulders and other gray and brown stuff.
Oh, yeah? Well, think again. Let's meet a real rock star.
The inner core makes it the first main part. Yeah. It's the center of the earth, at the very heart. The next main layer is the outer core. It's known to be a liquid made of iron and more. Yeah. The mantle is the layer very near the top. Liquid and solid, but that's not where we stop. Finally there's the crust, where we all survive. The life that it supports helps keep us all alive. The life that it supports helps keep us all alive.
Thick crust or thin?
The Earth's crust is between 4 miles and 25 miles thick. That's a lot of crust.
See? It's not boring. And there is a lot of other stuff to consider when you think about geology. What about cars? And where do you think cars come from? And fossils, huh? And diamonds. Whoa. God the Creator has crafted the components of geology to make the world a more interesting, functional, productive, and beautiful place. Hey, come here. That's nice to meet you. It's very good to meet you. It's nice to meet you.
Same here.
Did you know that crystals are a part of geology? And you probably ate crystals this morning for breakfast.
What?
Who can guess what this is?
Acorns? No, not acorns. Pecans or walnuts. My favorite. No, not nuts. Yikes, I'm just a squirrel. What did you expect?
Not much. Do you have a guess?
Toast or milk?
No. It's sugar. See? Sweet, delectable sugar. And salt falls under the category of geology, too. Watch. There. Take a look.
Cool, they look almost the same in your hand. But under the microscope, it's completely different.
That's right. Look. At first, they look the same. But up close, we see they both have a very unique shape. We interact with geology all day long. You experience the effects of geology whether you know it or not.
What exactly, then, is geology?
Well, geology. The scientific study of the Earth, the rocks of which it is composed, and the changes that it is undergoing or has undergone.
Huh?
You know, it's the study of the Earth and what it's made of. That's all. Rocks and stuff. God made the Earth with a strong, rock-solid foundation. So when we look at rocks, we can be reminded of God's strength and His love for us. Psalm 62, verse 2 says, God alone is my rock and my salvation. He's my fortress. I will never be shaken.
Oh.
A pebble is a rock of 1 inch to 2.5 inches. A stone has a diameter between 2.5 and 10 inches. A piece of rock from 10 inches to 50 feet in diameter is considered to be a boulder.
So the Earth's crust is 4 to 25 miles thick. The mantle is 1,700 miles thick. The outer core is 1,500 miles thick, and the inner core is 1,500 miles thick. There is a big world beneath our feet, and you know what? It's really hot down there. Ah! The mantle is 1,200 miles beneath the Earth's crust and is 5,400 degrees. The inner core is 3,200 miles beneath the crust and is 9,000 degrees. The deeper you go, the hotter it gets. This is called the geothermal gradient. Within the crust, God made all kinds of wonderful rocks and minerals for us to use and enjoy. First, let's take a look at rocks.
Rocks are not like plants or animals because they don't have the same cycle of life. But rocks do have a life, sort of. Through rocks, we learn about our Earth's history. Finely ground rocks serve to provide mineral-rich soil, giving life to plants for growing food. Rocks are responsible for the warm sand we walk on at the beach and for the majestic mountains that provide year-round recreation. Rocks are the foundation of the continents, from the very largest to the very smallest. Rocks provide an interesting place to start in our geology lesson.
There are three categories of rocks: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. When God created the earth, igneous was the first real rock formed. Woo! Talk about hot!
Really hot stuff.
Igneous comes from a Latin word meaning fire. When volcanoes erupt, they emit molten or liquid rock called magma. When this magma cools and crystallizes, it's called igneous rock. Igneous rocks are made up of minerals whose crystals are tightly woven together. Some igneous rocks are found deep in the crust where the magma is forced into cracks and crevices called dikes, sills, and batholiths. When this happens, the magma cools slowly and large crystals are formed in the rocks. For example, in granite, one of the most common types of igneous rock, you can see the crystals that make up the minerals feldspar, quartz, and mica. If the magma or lava flows on the outside of the earth, it is exposed to air and cools quickly.
For example, obsidian rock is also called volcanic glass. It cools so quickly the crystals have no time to form. Obsidian rocks make great arrowheads because they have very sharp edges due to the way they fracture or break apart. The crystals that are formed from lava that cools quickly are much smaller and can sometimes only be seen with a special geological microscope.
Welcome to Cooking with Crystals. Today we have an exciting program that'll chill and thrill. Everybody ready? Alrighty then. What you'll need is 1 ounce of rock salt, 1 cup of boiling water, 1 shallow bowl, 1 piece of kite string, and 1 magnifying glass. The better to see with, my dear. Now that we have our ingredients assembled, place the rock salt into the shallow bowl. Pour the boiling water onto the salt. Place a string in the solution, letting one end rest on the edge of the bowl. Let this stand in a sunny spot for several days. Well, let's see what we have here. Oh, look at our crystals. Salt crystals are cubical, and indeed we have perfect hues here. Remember, mineral crystals formed during rapid cooling will be smaller than those formed during slow cooling. Experiment with this by placing a shallow bowl of salt solution into the refrigerator and comparing it to the one that you placed in a sunny spot. And just for fun, we'll add food coloring to the batch of solution. Let's have a look. Yes, we have tiny crystals that have formed quickly in cold surroundings. Feel free to try this at home with other water-soluble crystal forms such as sugar or alum.
Water's soluble means that it can dissolve in water, like bubble bath soap. It dissolves and makes bubbles. Bubbles can't make crystals, but they sure are a lot of fun.
You'll see for yourself the unique shapes these crystals make. Thank you for joining me today. It's been delightful having you in my kitchen.
Basalt is the most common type of igneous rock, formed by the fluid lava that pours from a volcano. Now, sometimes air gets trapped inside these rocks, forming what scientists call a geode. Now, these geodes contain beautiful crystals. Now, this is an amethyst crystal. This is obsidian.
I've already told them about obsidian. Remember the arrowheads? Pumice is also igneous rock formed from lava. Pumice is formed when lots of gas bubbles are out of lava. The air bubbles in pumice make it the lightest rock in the world. Look, it's so light it floats.
As time passes, the igneous rocks are pulverized and worn down by rain, wind, temperature, streams, and glaciers. This is called erosion. Sedimentary rock begins to form as small rocks. Pebbles and even grains of minerals are washed into dumping spots at the bottom of lakes or oceans and are deposited as sediment. One layer settles upon another. As the layers get heavier and heavier, the moisture is squeezed out of the bottom layers, which are gradually pressed into sedimentary rock. Sometimes masses of pebbles are cemented together and form a coarser type of layer. Sometimes animals, plants, and seashells are trapped and preserved in these sediments. This is why we have fossils of plants and animals that lived many years ago. Each type of layer provides a different color and texture. Sandstone, shale, and limestone make up the layers of sedimentary rock. An excellent example of sedimentary rock in all of its glory is the Grand Canyon.
Chalk is also sedimentary rock.
When we go deeper into the Earth's surface, we get to a different kind of rock. Rocks that have been changed or altered are called metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rock are formed when igneous or sedimentary rock has become buried deep within the Earth.
When subjected to intense pressure from the Earth's movements, baked by the heat of the Earth, or both, this sedimentary or igneous rock changes in texture, structure, and mineralogy, depending on the amount of heat and pressure it has undergone. Well, not quite like this bread, but almost. Through time, under this extreme pressure and heat, shale turns to slate, and limestone turns into beautiful marble.
You know, God sometimes uses the pressures and heat of life to make us more like Him. During those times, our faith and God's faithfulness to us has transformed us into a more distinctive landscape. Think what it would be like to be the Grand Canyon.
Rock on!
Stalactites and stalagmites are made of a limestone substance called calcium carbonate. They form in underground caves when water trickles through the roof and onto the cave floor. At the spot where the drip occurs, a small amount of lime solidifies and begins to form a stalactite from the ceiling of the cave. It looks like an icicle. If the process goes on for an extended amount of time, maybe hundreds or thousands of years, the result will be a stalagmite, or a column on the cave floor.
Do you know an easy way to remember the difference between stalactites and stalagmites? Well, you can remember which is on the top and which is on the bottom by the spelling. Stalactite has a C, which could stand for ceiling. It's the one that looks like an icicle. A stalagmite has a G. It grows from the ground. Get it?
Now we're ready to go from rocks to minerals. Rocks are usually made up of 2 or more minerals. Now, we've discussed some minerals when we talked about igneous rock. What were they?
Let me think.
Oh, no, not you again. Time's up. We talked about quartz, feldspar, and mica as being minerals that made up granite. Other common types of minerals are calcite, dolomite, apatite.
Appetite? Appetite? I got a big appetite.
That's not what we're talking about? and tourmaline are just a few other common minerals. But there are other minerals that are considered very precious minerals. Who can tell me what they are?
Emeralds. Oh, and opals. And sapphires, so blue. Rubies. And topaz. Oh, and diamonds are too. That's a lot of pretty minerals.
Now look around your house for minerals. Do you have any copper pots and pans? A quartz figurine? A ring with a stone set in gold? Lead pencils? Silver? Minerals are found almost everywhere we look.
We mentioned this earlier. Minerals are used to build and run the cars that take us to school every day.
And may I remind you that these same cars take you to buy rollerblades and to the amusement park and on family vacations.
But what about crystals?
A snowflake is a crystal.
Virtually all minerals are made up of crystals. Crystals are solid materials in which the atoms are arranged in a regular pattern. Remember earlier when Chef made crystals of salt and we looked at sugar under the microscope? Sugar is shaped kind of like a baseball diamond. And salt is shaped like a cube. Quartz, on the other hand, is a six-sided crystal and will always be a six-sided crystal. God gave every crystal a special shape and size, just like He made you a special shape and size. Let's take a look at some other crystals. Beautiful, aren't they?
And now it's time to play Define That Term. Let's meet our two contestants. First, let's welcome Danny Deer. Danny was our winning contestant last time, and we're happy to have him back. Good playing, Danny, and good luck. Danny will be competing today against Jacob Jackrabbit. Jacob enjoys spending time with his family and friends and running marathons for charitable causes. Ready, contestants? Here's our question. The word geology means A, a frozen mammoth native to Siberia, B, a rare Guatemalan fruit, or C, the study of the earth and what it's made of. Now, let's give our contestants a moment to think. All right, contestants, time's up. Jacob, now's your chance. What does the word geology mean?
B? Is it B? Rare Guatemalan fruit? I had some relatives in Guatemala once. Or maybe it was on a farm in Texas. Well, anyway, I hope it's B.
No, you're wrong. The answer is not B. However, please accept our parting gifts of luxurious nails for quick and easy hooves and paws. And of course, the ever-popular home version of Define That Term. Well, Danny, this could be your chance again. Can you be the one to define that term?
Well, it's gotta be one or the other. Such a big word. I'm going with...
Come on, Danny, the clock is ticking. What is geology?
Oh, it's C. Is it C? The study of the earth and what it's made of?
Danny, dear, you've done it again! No, twice in a row! You've been able to define that term. This record exceeded only by Ernestine Elephant. And we know that elephants never forget. Congratulations. Well, that's all the time we have today. But join us right here next time for Define That Term.
Think about the crystal. Now, isn't it amazing that God paid attention to the smallest details in the creation of His earth? And if God cares that much about the smallest details of the crystal, we can have faith that He cares about us on a much grander scale. Start noticing the beauty that God built into every part of the world, from the ground up. The Bible tells us, come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout joyfully to the rock of our salvation. And let's remember that we can lean on God for everything. He's our rock, strong enough to handle all our problems today and always.
Hey, there you are. I thought I lost you somewhere between a rock and a hard place.
Very funny and not likely.
So, I guess my little geology world isn't so boring after all, is it?
I guess it's pretty cool. Or hot, depending on which way you look at it.
Come on, admit it. It's a rockin' world, full of fun facts to know and tell.
Yeah, but you know what's really rocking? That God thought this all through and cared enough to make this world such a perfect place for us. That's really rocking.
Let's shout joyfully to the Lord.
Great idea.
Thank you, God.